of what is happening externally, you can then, in those moments, you can be more precise and effective at what is occurring internally. And it all begins with the breath. So now let's breathe. Breathe together to elevate that, increase, amplify the feeling of L.O.V.E. And let's do it together. So we're going to do some yoga for the feet. Taking our socks off. Yeah. We're going to breathe. We're going to get down on the floor. Forget about life for a while as you build those inner resources. So as you're settling in, cherishing your relationship with this spot of ground, sense your whole body sitting here. Having a sense that your mind, like the ocean, is very deep. And no matter what the conditions are on the surface of life or the ocean, you can dive down deep into the internal, where the space is tranquil and serene. And from the depths of the ocean, the depths of your mind, you can look toward the surface, simply noticing the activity there. And that you can stay and remain in the serenity. So here now you can hear the ohms. When you feel like jumping in, joining the choir. Gain a sense of the rhythm. So now our breath will transition to that the sound will be a hum, a closed mouth bhramari, where you will just breathe out long, continuous, steady stream. As you're ready, no forcing of the sound. Whatever is your home note, or maybe it's the note of the frequency that you wish to feel. What is the sound of love? Peacefulness, gratitude. Inhale, fully relax the diaphragm when it's time to breathe in. All the way up into the heart. So now we're going to go right into our breathe in for 4, out for 8.
Exhale, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Remember, trying to make it very circular, right into the next part of the breath. No pauses.
5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In,
You're You're doing great. We're almost there.
4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rest.
So we can get ready to move down to the
you're
floor
resting,
now. So taking with you the sense
while
of
you're resting,
connectedness to yourself,
okay, with no pauses. Breathing deep.
You can begin, you can just lean back on your hands and lean back enough that you can pick your feet up and tap them back and forth like you're splashing in a puddle of water. This brings the dogs. They come running for this, but not right now, they're not. Now put your heels on the ground and you can straighten your legs out, but keep the heels on the ground when you do this. So your emphasis is that you are sliding your heels out, kind of rubbing, exfoliating the the back of your heels. Yeah? And so now as you slide one foot in, we're going to work with the other foot. So to try to press forward with the foot that's of the leg that's straight, so that you're pressing through the toe box or the ball of the foot or the roots of the toes. So really press, and then you notice the toes themselves will kind of face up or towards you. So press through. And you can even lift, lift up. Seem to have a frog in my throat. So you can lift your chest up, let your shoulders roll back. You can get all Bridget Bardot. Okay, so now you can do some kind of gentle, quick foosting, so bending the toes down in the other direction. Now slide that heel up, slide the other foot out, and again press out through the roots of the toes, toe box. And you might notice a difference in this side versus the other. I broke my foot when I was 18, and so my left foot is always just, it doesn't respond the way my right foot responds. So you may have had similar issues with your feet. So just pressing through the roots of the toes. A few more moments, a few more breaths. Why don't we take 3 breaths as you're focusing your attention on the foot. Remember where energy will go, where energy will flow where attention goes. So focus your attention on the roots of the toes in this area, or maybe the sole of the foot. Okay, so now now we'll do some easy, kind of like your toes are saying hi. All right, then you can slide your feet back up, and now find a better way to sit so that you can play with your feet here now. I'm just going to sit in Sukhasana. So I just saw this recently, that you know how this is like Nanu Nanu, Robin Williams or Spock, yeah, live well, live long and prosper, right? So you're going to try to see if you could do the same thing with your toes. Can you do that with your toes? So that you're trying to separate the toes. And of course there's the space between the last 2 toes and the yeah. And just, you probably can't separate them. Well, maybe you can. If you've been doing this for a while, you can separate them somewhat. I can separate them somewhat. Can you put just on their own, can you separate them without getting a foot cramp? If you get a foot cramp, quick switch. Switch and do the other side, the other leg. But see, you might have to do it manually, and you can keep your foot on the floor. I'm just showing you my foot. So just go down there, separate the toes. Wiggle them a little, pull them out a little, just, gently. You don't want to pull them off, just getting some space in those joints. You can even take your fingers and see if you can slip the fingers in between the toes, right? We haven't done this in a while. I think you can tell when you haven't done it in a while because it's almost painful to get your fingers in there. So just be gentle, just warming up, getting some space, doing yoga for the feet, and this is a real thing. Yeah, and you can even, with the fingers in there, you can even kind of grip, do some foosting, or you can do some foosting without the fingers. Make this practice your own. Massage your feet. Since you're down there, give yourself a little foot massage. So now, switch. So we'll do the other foot. So again, you're trying to first just separate the toes, as if you could, we know how to separate our fingers, right? So separate the toes. And I guess it's an interesting thing to take the pinky toe and the toe next to it act like they kind of move together, and then the next two toes will. So that would be your nanu, right? Your live long and prosper. So you could do the same thing with your toes. Live long, prosper. And then you can see how much. See, that's my broken foot side. I can't I can't communicate with that toe. But you could do your best. That's all you can do. Show up and smile and do your best. So we can play a little more, and then take your hand. Each finger goes into between each toe. It's like you're shaking hands with your foot, right? That's what the kids used to call it in my kids' yoga class. Shaking hands with the feet. Yeah, shaking hands with the foot. And just be gentle. Feet are so cool. People are so weirded out by their feet. I don't know why. I think they're so cool. Let's do some foosting. So I'm just picking up my feet. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. So your feet are kind of walking. Just do some foosting, squeezing. All right, so then we're gonna do one more thing. So don't put your socks back on yet, but you might actually keep them off. So here's your socks, right? So take your big toe and your second toe, and you're gonna try to pick up that sock. Yay! You get a treat. And then do the other one. See how, or is that, can you use all the toes to pick up the sock? I can't do it with my left one. But mostly the big toe and the second toe, if you can grab your sock. If the sock is too big, you can also use like a tissue. Do you have a tissue in your pocket? You could use a tissue. That would be another way that you could do it. So let's get the hips into play here now. Go ahead and lay down. You can wiggle your pelvis from side to side on the floor. And now we're going to start to do that windshield wiper movement very slow. Drop one hip in, or one knee in rather. The hip kind of turns. It's a good one for the psoas at your lower back. I like to just hang out here for a while. And then come back, drop the knee in, other knee in. Relax. Breathe. Make some more sounds. We started off breathing and ohming and humming. So see now if you can sigh with a sigh of good feelings as you let go. Sighing when we let go of more than just the air in our lungs. Just noticing what else are you releasing, or what else is calling to you to be released that you no longer need. So just remember to switch. Back and forth, slowly. All right, then you can bring the knees back to an upright position, roll to your side and push up. And then let's do some frog. So the frog is, actually it's like half frog. So just see if you can spread the front of the pelvis out. All right, so slide that first leg in. Now we're going to slide the second in so it straightens, and then slide the other leg out, making the bend at the knee and at the ankle. 90 degrees. And just imagine that your body was made up of something really soft, like honey. Yogurt, and that you could just kind of spread yourself out. Breathe. All right, so taking one more breath, and then you can slide your leg back in, straighten it out, and just start to crawl your arms up into cobra. So you can experiment with the classic, being on the tops of your feet for cobra. And then you can also observe what it's like to curl your toes under. So you're trying to get into like downward dog feet. And this is another stretch for the feet. So you might take your awareness down into the soles. And so with the curls toed under, the toes curled under, you can press back through the heels. And then you can separate the arms so that they are shoulder width apart, and just sort of give yourself a gentle kind of suctioning your palms to the mat, Gently pulling yourself forward a little bit. Keep the chest open and broad. Shoulders back. So the heels are pressing back while you're pulling the body forward. All right, then relax, release, come back into the crocodile. So stack up your forearms, and then if you were curling your toes under, then come to rest the feet, tops of the feet on the floor. So it's interesting to observe the breath when you're lying on your belly. How due to the pressure of the body on the floor, your breathing is different. Just notice. And see if you can fully surrender to each exhalation. And not begin the next new breath until you feel that you have come to empty lungs. All right, so we're going to push back up again, and we're going to repeat actually you're going to stay in crocodile, sorry, but we're going to repeat the sequence, frog leg out, so this is a very yin kind of flow, focusing on the connective tissue, not just the muscles, but the links between muscles and joints, bones and tendons and ligaments and muscles, and the breath. Alright, so take your last breath now, and you can slide that first leg in and take the second leg out. Alright, take your final breath here, sliding your leg back in. And then you can press the tops of the feet down into the floor as you bring your arms back up for another cobra. And this time we can curve a little just to the side. Breathe. And then back back to the center. And then back to the other side. Second side. You can even exercise your eyes, so yoga for the eyes. So as you are curving, I'm going to my second side was my left. So as I'm curving to the left, I'm also taking my eyes to look towards the left corners, and even to see if I can see my feet down there peripherally, whatever's behind me. And then come back to the center and go back to the first side again. And then same thing, yoga for the eyes. Looking down, letting the eyes move toward the corner, outer corner. And you can even roll the eyes around from top to bottom. And then back to the center, and then go to your last side, fourth side. One more time. And then back to the center. All right, and you can press yourself up. You ready for some downward dogs? Yeah. So get your bolster, bring it over if you're going to use it to rest your head on, or for twisty child poses between the dogs. So as you're ready, starting off on all fours, big angle at the hip socket, remember? Shifting back. I like to pause here in child's pose, especially since we haven't really done one yet. So you can stop and even rest your head on the bolster. It's up to you. And then when you're ready, when it seems like it's the right time, rising up. So you can now try to find that sense of having the toe box be the anchor for your feet. So toe box on the ground, lift the toes themselves up. Woo, and you can really feel the access to the back of the legs there. You can bend your knees a little bit, roll your sit bones up. Find the toe box again. Can you find the very center of the roots of the toes, of that grounded space? You can wag your tail a little if you like. It's over the hump day, folks, right? What do you need? And then bringing yourself down, and let's do a twisted child. So de-rotate first. Looks all speckly. De-rotating first, trying to remain as you twist, trying to keep your spine perpendicular to the floor. Try not to project the head forward so that the continuation of that spiral that you're building in spiral staircase of the spine continues all the way up. And even include the eyes in rotation. That's yoga one more breath. And then when you're ready, spin. Spin forward. So when you come to the bolster, you can put your hands on top, press up. So you get nice and long in the front body now. Think of zipping up your zipper and then drawing yourself over the bolster, turning your head to rest on one side or the other. And you can take one more breath here and press yourself up. Coming all the way up. And let's prepare for another downward dog. Up onto hands and knees. Approaching the bolster. Head on. Literally, actually, head on. And you can take your last breath, lowering yourself down. Mind your transitions. De-rotating to the second side. See you over my back shoulder. Let's see. Yep. De-rotation. Even exercising, remember the eyes, letting them continue into the spiral, looking toward the outer corners. Another breath. Mind your alignment. When you're ready, spin. To face the bolster. When you greet the bolster, plant your hands on top, press up, and then you can take yourself over the top of it. Make any little adjustments you need to. If you have to push up again, adjust your flesh. You can do that, of course. Being mindful of what you need. All right, one more breath. And then you can press yourself up, coming all the way up. And let's lie down for some supine twists. And a supine tree. So as you lie down, you can bend your knees. And then you can even practice some heel sliding. And let's straighten the left leg out and take the right knee into a bent position. And then you're going to rotate the right knee over the left leg to the ground, or if you need to, you can put a blanket on the ground on the other side or a bolster. you can anchor, hold your right knee down with your left hand. So you're twisting. Take a breath or two, try to let go. You can take your right arm out to the side, externally rotate that shoulder, or if it's too intense for your shoulder, you can just keep your arm draped across your waist. But if you like, you can kind of reach out to the side, gently press the back of your head into the floor and lift your chest, and it's like you're wringing out your body, like a washcloth wringing action. All right, then you could let yourself go, come back. And so now let your right knee drop out to the right. So it's gonna come into like a supine tree. Arms could be out by your side, palms up, or you can go a little higher, or you can clasp your hands above your chest, interlace the fingers, and as you straighten your arms up toward the ceiling, invert the palms, and then take your arms overhead. You could do it that way too. Trying to spread the sacrum. Just a gentle spreading. You can kind of wiggle the hips back and forth. Kind of press them down into the floor. Just a gentle press. Nothing huge. Just to start to encourage the release. All right, one more breath. And then squeeze your glutes. Pull your pelvic floor up. Mula bandha engaged. And now you can use your hand to the outer thigh. Draw the leg back up. And now keep your heels in contact with the floor. Switch your legs. Heel slides. So now the left knee is bent. And you can twist it over to the right. Hold it down with your right hand and reach out to the left with the left, if that works for you. So it's nice to hook your foot, your toes, behind your knee, in the nook behind your knee. Just seems to be where they should go. And then you can, after this breath, start to roll back, to lie back on your back, and then continue to let the left knee continue on its way over to the left side, to the floor. Tree pose. And you can again assume what arm position you would like. If you wish, you could interlace those fingers, hands together, and then straighten the arms up, palms now inverted to face the ceiling, and then you can draw your arms overhead. Ooh. Few more breaths. And just perhaps insert a little bit of future gratitude. think of, or quantum gratitude. Think of how good you're going to feel an hour from now because you got down on the floor and you showed up for yourself. You carried out your yoga practice this week. To think about how good you're going to feel in the future, and then feel it right now. Time travel, grab that gratitude, bring it back to the present moment. All right, so squeeze the glutes, pull the pelvic floor up, hold it, and then take your hand to the outer left thigh to bring your knee back up. And then you can slide both feet back up and roll to your side, pushing yourself up. And we're going to do 2 versions of Setu Bandha. So moving into back bend. So go ahead and grab your bolster. We're going to sit on the end. So we haven't been using the belt much these days online, but you can go ahead and loop your belt around your legs, making sure they're comfortable. They don't have to be, squeezed together, so that you can settle into the space, into your body. So you can gently press the back of your head into the floor, lift your chest up a little and tuck your shoulders under to get that lift in the heart. Externally rotating the arms so the palms are facing up.
All right, so you can start to bring yourself back. So it might be wise to squeeze your glutes, your butt muscles, and pull your pelvic floor in so that as you move your legs and try to get your feet up onto the bolster and walk your feet in, your back muscles won't freak out. And then you can loosen your belt and slide it down. And you can come out of this pose any way you like. If you want, you can just roll to the floor. Carefully, of course. Push yourself up. Take your feet out. We're not going to bend forward here. It's just going to be an upright Upavista. So you can lean back on your hands, or you can reach up like I was just doing. Whew. You start to practice this regularly as the backs of your legs become more flexible. You will be able to reach up more easily without feeling like you're going to fall over. But you can just lean back on your hands and drop the sit bones. You can elongate the legs, kind of pressing or scooching your heels away. Take a few more breaths. And again, if you like, you can, only if you're sitting upright, raise your arms. If you're really leaning back, you're going to end up being more like this, and then you're going to kind of miss the boat. All right. Then you can heel slide your legs back in. So we're going to use our blocks for this back bend. And you're going to place them where the first one that will meet you mid-back, like bra strap level, will be at the medium height or setting, and then the one that's going to be under your head will be at the tall or the highest height. So then lower yourself down. So if the block isn't quite at the right place in the mid-back, you can push up, adjust it, move it. And then coming back. So, sorry, get your strap to belt your legs again. And again, not too close together, but just close enough. peace. So as you're ready, you can start to push yourself up. And we're going to end the practice today going to a wall. So see if you can find a space at the wall, and you can either put your hips on a bolster or on a block. And so what you want to do is get as close to the wall as you can without anything underneath you. Taking your legs up in the air, and just have your block or whatever you're going to put under your hips, let it be close to you that you can just reach it with your hand. And then, so you don't want to be too close to the wall, because when you do this, push yourself up onto your forearms, your elbows. If you're too close to the wall, it'll be hard. It might be impossible, actually. So you want to have, I have about 6 inches, 7 inches between the edge of my body and the wall. So you just want to hang out here for a moment. Oh, and all of the puppies are here, so you probably can't see me. But you're pressed up on your forearms, and feeling what you feel. Notice what you notice. Staying for another half a minute or so. Hi. Sit down. There. Thank you. Susie says you can bring the roots of the big toes together. You can look up at your feet. You can do some foosting. Susie says see if you can spread your toes like Spock. Do you think Spock could spread his toes like this? All right, so then when you're ready, you can release the spreading of the toes and lower yourself down. And then slide your feet down the wall, bend your knees, lift your hips up, and put your block underneath your hips or your bolster. And then your arms can just come out to the sides, palms facing up. You can gently press the back of your head into the floor, tuck your shoulders under. Just breathe. So if you had brought your belt over, this would have been a good time to belt your legs together too. But if you didn't, don't worry about it. You could even let your legs be wide, like a V. Or you could bend the knees with the soles of the feet on the wall, with your knees dropping out to the side. Just take your feet comfortable distance apart. So now allowing yourself to completely submerge, to settle into the depths, the space. And now allowing yourself to completely submerge of the body, settle in, feeling a sense of into the depths, deep refuge, the space, spaciousness of the body, feeling a sense of deep refuge. And as you submerge in the space, down into the safety of the space, see if you can, and as you submerge, let go of, down into the safety who it is that you think you are. And even ask, see if you can, who am I? Let go of who it is that you think you are. Gaining that connection to. And even ask, who it is you truly are. Who am I? Gaining that connection to, letting that feeling grow and spread. Who it is you truly are throughout your body and your mind into awareness. Letting that feeling grow and spread throughout your body and your mind into awareness. Giving yourself this time to simply be.
yourself this time to simply be.
So now it's time to come back up through the layers, back up from the depths. Coming back to incorporate your body more fully, once again, into the edges. Putting your seal skin back on, feeling your fingers and toes as you move them gently. And then you can blink your eyes open and shut, until they feel ready to open, and stay open. And look around at your immediate surroundings, immediate environment. And as you do, let your eyes rest on objects, on the space between objects, the space that holds all the objects, including you and me, together. And smile at your environment to help make the world more beautiful. When you're ready, you can come to sit up. And taking your hands together in front of the heart, bowing to honor who you truly are. And remember that you already have everything that you need inside. Namaste.